All right, Shalom, Shalom. Brother Yakana or Yazoo, we are coming back with another quick lesson. All praises to the Most High, all praise to Yahushua. And I just want to bring y'all this quick little lesson out of the portion allotted to me, right? If I can get there. All right, so basically, what I'm coming on to speak about today is basically still understanding and, using the spirit of wisdom, discernment, knowledge, understanding, these things that the Most High has given us in these times to learn and to be able to maneuver in these lands that we've been spread to. All right. Because often we can forget that we are still in the lands of our captivities. All right. We're still in the land of our captors. All right. A lot of us was brought here to these places. If you want to think about America, for instance, we was brought here on ships, man. And for those of us who weren't brought here on ships and were here before the slave trade, we you were still subjugated to slavery. You still had war waged on you. All right. You're still subjugated to your enemies, man. All right. So that's an important thing for us to understand as Israel is that we're still in the land of our enemies, but there's a way to maneuver in these coming days. All right. There's a way to maneuver in these systems without um basically having the wrath of the enemy come down on you. All right. So I'm gonna just bring this out real quick. It says, I'm gonna start. This is Baruch in the Apocrypha. Baruch 3:8. It says, behold, we are yet this day in our captivity, where thou hast scattered us for a reproach and a curse, to be subject to payments, according to all the iniquities of our fathers, which departed from the Lord our God. All right. So we gotta understand. We gotta understand. First of all, it says we are yet this day in our captivity. All right. So the Most High, He's delivering us out of this place first mentally and spiritually, but we're still physically here. All right. We still in the land of our enemies. We still under the power of Esau, man. So we gotta understand that these are people who don't like us, man. This is a generational perpetual hatred. All right. And it's funny how they'll act like brothers who are in the faith are speaking the truth. We're the ones pushing the hatred, right? When all we doing is bringing out the truth. All we doing is bringing out precepts and the history as to why this is going on. But the truth is that they want our people to continue in ignorance. All right. They want our people asking why all day. When we gonna tell you straight up that you were cursed and scattered into the lands of your captivities for breaking the Most High's commandments. All right, you signed a contract. You made a covenant with the Most High, the highest power in existence, and you broke that contract. All right, and it says what? It says we are yet this day in our captivity. All right, it said the slave trade that we went through was the. It says that in the scriptures, and historians will say it that we went through the worst atrocity to ever happen to one people ever. All right. But the Most High also said that He will wake us up in the land of our captivities. All right. And in this time of us being woken up, there's still a way to maneuver. We got to maneuver in wisdom. All right. Because it says what? It says, He has scattered us for a reproach and a curse to be subject to payments. All right. So you got to understand that you wouldn't be subject to payments if you was one of the children. All right. A lot of our people think that financial stability or financial freedom um is the way to get out of here, is the way to freedom. They think financial freedom is the way to freedom. You think because that maybe You got vacation days, or maybe you can write off this and that on a tax break, but you're still part of these people monetary system. All right. People don't even understand that as long as you're subject to money, as long as you're working in any way, shape, or form, as long as you're paying taxes, as long as you're paying a land tax, a property tax, as long as you're paying any of these things, you are subject to the enemy. All right. A lot of people don't understand that. As long as you're going to a job, that you're a slave. As long as you're paying taxes to these people, you go to work 40 hours a week, 80 hours on your bi-weekly. But what are you doing? They taking your money before you touch it. Therefore, you're subject to payments, man. And you got to ask yourself, are the kings of the earth subject to these same payments? And that's not true. They're not subject to no payments, man. That's even understanding that, for instance, the president, right? Trump right now, he's not even the highest ranking. We understand that presidents are still just figureheads. They're just puppets, man. But even him and his family, his lot on his level, they're not paying no taxes, man. They not going to work. They not punching no time clock. So you got to understand that you're still in the land of your captivities, man. But we got to understand, we got to move in wisdom, bro. For real, the point of me getting on is because one of the brothers had, basically a run in with the Centurions, law enforcement around here, man. You know, and I I, I came to the scene, to help and appease the situation, and I could feel this Edomite spirit oozing off of that Centurion or off of that cop, man. So it was just a reminder. It's a reminder. No matter how comfortable you are, you got to remember where you at, man. And you got to remember to move wisely. And you also have to remember, why are you here in the first place? All right. A lot of people, a lot of Israel is trying to find out how to be successful here and how to make it good here. Oh, I want to touch 100 bands. I want to do this. I want to do that. Not understanding that you're here as a curse. All right. So let me go to this real quick. Let's go to this real quick. Because the reason is we want to move wisely. All right. If you're in a situation, you don't want to really be trying to finesse the system. All right. Even as it speaks, I believe in the book of Hebrews saying that, you want to have respect unto the powers, because these powers are put in place by the most high. All right. These powers, if you look at it, the way they set up this system, it's beautifully set up to subjugate you. All right. It's set up beautifully to subjugate you, to keep you working, to keep you paying these people. Everywhere you twist and turn, you paying something. But what did Yahushua say? Because you have to remember that the Messiah knew that we were going into the land of our captivities. He knew that we was going captive. Who did he come to? The lost sheep of Israel, man. We was already subject to payments back then. All right. When he came, even remember when that they came to collect the temple tax, right? We'll go to that in a second. Hey, Shalom, Shalom, God's chosen son, man. Good seeing you, bro. He said, trading the most valuable thing, time, for a feeble dollar amount they claim you to be worth. Exactly, man. Exactly. And ultimately, that's just a distraction. That's to keep you away, because your time could be more valuably spent with the most high, man. But let's move on. That's Matthew 22. All right. Let's see where we start on. All right, so we start Matthew 22 and 17. And this is someone these are the men, the Pharisees, questioning Yahushua, and it says, "Tell us therefore, what thinkest thou? Is it lawful to give tribute unto Caesar or not?" And tribute, you gotta understand, tribute is taxes. All right. That's another way to show you the fact that you're paying anything for these people just for living. The fact that you paying rent and you're paying a property tax, even if you own your land or whatever, you still gotta pay a property tax. The fact that you paying a bill, the fact that you paying to have running water and these things, bro, you have to understand that you're in tribute, man. You're paying tribute. You're paying taxes to the kings of the earth. All right. So it says, Tell us therefore, what thinkest thou? Is it lawful to give tribute unto Caesar or not? But Yahushua perceived their wickedness and said, why tempt ye me, ye hypocrites? Show me the tribute money. And they brought unto him a penny. And he saith unto them, whose is this image in superscription? All right. So Yahushua, he told them to bring him a piece of money. Whose image in superscription? Whose image is on the money? All right. You go on $100 bill, it's Ben Franklin on there, man. Edomite. You go on the $5 bill, it's Abraham Lincoln on there, I believe. Right, Andrew Jackson on the 20. All of these are our enemies, man. All of these men had slaves, bro. So when you sit here and you got the rappers talking about they only trust Ben Frank, it's all about the Benjamins, man. You're worshiping something that was put in place to subjugate you. And that's why Yahushua said you cannot love God or mammon, man. And as the brother just put down, he said the love of money is the root of all evil. So that's something putting you, it's a stumbling block from you getting to the Most High. All right, and that's the point of what I'm going to get to. All right, he said, and he saith unto them, whose is this image and superscription? So whose picture is on the money? Then they say unto him, Caesar's. All right, so in the Roman times, right, and we understand that this is revamped Rome, right? In the Roman times, it was Caesar's face on the money. And this time, it's presidents and Freemasons' face on the money, man. And it says, they say unto him, Caesar's. Then saith he unto them, render therefore unto Caesar the things which are Caesar's, and unto Yahweh or God the things that are God's. Okay? So you want to render unto Caesar the things that are Caesar's. All right, so basically, bro, pay what you have to pay while we here on this earth, man. Or while we're here, subject to these payments. Because what's gonna happen? What's gonna happen if you don't pay these people, bro? You going to jail. What's gonna happen if you try to avoid taxes? What's gonna happen if you don't pay the light bill? What's gonna happen if you don't pay the water bill? You're gonna starve. You're gonna go without heat. You're gonna go without these things. So it's basically death or in jail anyway, man. You're gonna be on the street. So basically, while we here, man, and while we're still in the land of our captivities, we must understand, man, that we have to move wisely. Knowledge, wisdom, and knowledge shall be the stability of our time. So as long as we moving in wisdom, we not trying to keep no extra dollars in our pocket for no reason, right? Because we want to take away that's what the Most High is trying to show us, man. The money that they're giving us is not even of the Most High. Yahushua said, story, lay you riches in heaven, not the things that moth and rust does corrupt, because the riches down here are corruptible. We got to understand that. We got to understand that if you have $100 bill right now and you tear it up, it's not worth nothing no more. But all the holy things that the Most High can add unto you, that's eternal. It doesn't diminish. And you got to see the value in that. That's why it says you can either serve the Most High or you can serve mammon. You can serve the God of fortune and money, right? Guys wake up every day talking about, I'm getting the bag. Wake up thinking about a bag. That's all you talking about is the bag, the bag, the bag. But where are you going to get time for the Most High within that? Where do you get time for prayer, meditation, studying if you talking about the bag all day? Now, we understand it's important or it's necessary for you to labor, right? Especially if you got a family, you got people you got to take care of, right? You got to provide for your house, right? So go to work. Do these things while you're here, right? But don't put your value in it. There's a scripture basically not putting your heart with your goods. All right. Your heart shouldn't be placed with your goods. These things are just physical things. They come and go, man. You see what I'm saying? So they say, so after he asks whose image and superscription is on the money, they say Caesar's, man. So it belongs to him. So when he asks for his money back, when Uncle Sam asks for his money, then you give him the money. That's how we move wisely, man. And that's gonna save us stress, man. That's gonna save us stress. We already in a stressful environment. We already in a place where our people are um it says we won't have no rest for our feet, man. We won't have rest for our feet. We're gonna constantly be anxious, constantly, we're never gonna get to chill. This is not our rest. This is not somewhere we supposed to be comfortable, man. That's why we got these books. That's why we got all the books of the prophets. That's why we got Deuteronomy 28. That's why we have Exodus and all these books telling us our wrongdoings. That's why we got Numbers showing you that this is why you here today. You see what I'm saying? And honestly, you trying to rebel against the powers put in place and not trying to get out in the way that the Most High designated for us to get out, it's still you rebelling against the Most High. You trying to pick up arms against Esau, right? You think that you think that you can war with them with their own guns? You think you can buy your way out of it with the money that they print? That's why the Most High said, not by might, not by power, but by my spirit. We gotta cling on to the higher things. We gotta cling onto his spirit, bro. You get what I'm saying? We can't put our trust in physical things to get us out of captivity, bro. But to go back to the point, man, render therefore unto Caesar the things which are Caesar's, and unto Yahweh the things that are Yahweh's, or render unto God the things that are God's, man. So your time, your heart, right? Remember, it says, even like the brother said, the love of money is the root of all evil, right? But what did it say is the fulfillment of the law, right? Or the two greatest commandments, that you would love God with your heart, all your mind, heart, and soul, and love your neighbor as you love yourself. So if you sitting here worshiping money or worshiping any of these other things, or even, the pride of life, lust of the flesh, the abundance of your goods, right? Our people might even get a promotion at a job. They might be a high ranking person at a job. Look how they act. Look how they act when they get into manager positions, regional manager positions. Look how they corrupt, man. Those who work understand, man. Those who work understand, man. You got people that's in the workplace and they want to run it as a dictatorship, man. When at one point in time they was an employee. And that's a reflection of how our people always been. Because a lot of things, when the prophets were pronouncing the oncoming curses towards us, you got to understand there was a point where our people were empowered. All right, our people weren't always subject to these things. Our people didn't always have to pay taxes unto another people. There was a point in time where people would pay taxes unto us. But what did we do? We did wickedly with it, man. Right? You look into the Byzantine Empire, right? You look into Spain and Portugal, and during the Dark Ages, right? Look in these time periods where we had the world as it was promised to us. And what did we do? We did wickedly. We couldn't even stay by our God, man. We couldn't even keep these commandments. We went a whoring after other gods. We went a whoring after these other nations, following after the heathen. And that's why we in this position right now. So right now, while you in this position, it's for you to be humbled. The Most High put us here as a humbling experience. The fact that these folks can lock you up for not paying them. The fact that another man can come throw you in cuffs and throw you in his car and lock you in a cell. And can't nobody do nothing about it. That's supposed to be a humbling experience for you. The fact that they could shoot and kill one of us in the streets. The fact that one of them, they systems can come snatch your own child out of your house. DHS or CPS, they can come take your child. It's for it to be a humbling experience for you, man. But our people don't want to humble themselves, and that's why 2/3 of them gonna get destroyed. Because this whole experience is so that we come back to the Most High with fear and trembling, so that we come back to Him and say that we understand where we went wrong. The brother says straight pride, and we know pride come before destruction. Exactly, exactly. All right, but we're gonna move on. Let's go to Deuteronomy 28 real quick. Right. All right, Khan. All right. So we got Deuteronomy 28 and 68. It says, "And the Lord Yahweh shall bring thee into Egypt again with ships, by the way whereof I spake unto thee. Thou shalt see it no more again. And there ye shall be sold unto your enemies for bondmen and bondwomen, and no man shall buy you, or no man shall redeem you." All right, we gotta understand what that means in that context. Nobody will save you out of this. When the nation saw what we were going through, when the nation saw how we were getting treated over here, you didn't have China, you didn't have no Ishmaelite country, you didn't have nobody to come and say it was wrong. And isn't that the hypocrisy of this system that we living in? That this country is quick to go fly overseas and bomb another country because of how they treating their citizens, but look at how they treat the people they got over here. You know what I'm saying? But look, it said this speaking about our people, man. It says we will be brought into Egypt again by ships, right? And you will be sold unto your enemies. So we gotta understand, man. We gotta understand where we are at right now. And it also is another verse saying we wouldn't have no power against our enemies. That's why every time we tried to set up something for financial freedom, it got shut down. Black Wall Street getting bombed, right? And it was there wasn't even only one Black Wall Street. There's a map of various um Black or Israelite enterprises that were being built, and they all getting bombed, set on fire. Even in Philly, where I'm at, we got the move bombing, man, where these people came and bombed the whole block. Kids, women, men, everybody on the block. We don't care. Bomb the block. Anytime we try to unite, because what? You're in the land of your enemies. You gotta understand that. That's why Yahweh told us to be wise as serpents, harmless as doves. Be wise as a serpent. Wisdom is gonna allow you to weasel and allow you to maneuver in a society where you're hated by almost everyone. All right. Because especially as the Israelite man, who's on your side in this joint, man? Who's on your side here? That's why it's important for you to cling to the Most High. You know what I'm saying? The system has gotten your woman to turn against you. Obviously, the Edomites don't like you, right? Moab don't care about you. Ishmael don't care about you. Everybody scoffs at you. Everybody look at you like a reproach. That's why they can sit here and call you black all day. Because of the crafty counsel. Let us stop them from being a people. You see what I'm saying? But nonetheless, you know, we gotta understand where we at, man. And it's a certain way to maneuver because we in the land of our enemies, like it said, right? And even let's go to that real quick, right? Let's rock. Mm, all right, all right, Khan. I got Sirach or Ecclesiasticus, 25, and I'll start 13. Well, I'll start 12 just cause, right? And it says the fear of the Lord is the beginning of his love, and faith is the beginning of cleaving unto him. Give me any plague but the plague of the heart, and any wickedness but the wickedness of a woman, and any affliction but the affliction of them that hate me, and any revenge but the revenge of enemies, man. So you got to understand certain things, man. He said, give me any affliction but the affliction of them that hate me. Don't Esau hate Jacob? See, this world want people to move in delusion the whole time. That's why this is Babylon, the land of confusion. Because you're sitting here trying to be best friends or with somebody who hates you, man. You the gazelle asking the lion to stop chasing you. When his whole point, his whole mission, he was sent from the Most High to destroy you, bro. To be a affliction to you, to be a snare in your path, man. To either lock you up or kill you, right? Even going into this situation just recently, right? I could feel the spirit off of this cop, man. I could feel that he's looking for a reason to say that you getting rowdy, to say that you're disobeying orders, to what? To either lock you up or shoot you, bro. The slightest stiffen up of your arm to say you resisting. Raise your voice too loud, it's disorderly conduct, disturbing the peace. So we gotta move wisely. All right, even that, right? And I'm gonna go back to Sirach because there was a point right there, right? But let me go to this real quick. Matthew 5, right? Matthew 5, Khan. And this is important. These are the words of Christ, man. This is Hamashiach saying this. Matthew 5 and 25, it says, agree with thine adversary quickly. Agree with thine adversary quickly whilst thou art in the way with him. All right. So if you get pulled over, if you got IRS on your back, if you owe these people, bro, listen, it's best to get these folks out your face, man. Let's just stick to getting pulled over. Bro, the wisest decision is to comply and get these people out your face so that you can go about your day. If you're in the wrong, then it's better for you to submit and say, hey, I'm in the wrong. Because you got to understand the spirit of the enemy, man, or the adversary. You got to understand his spirit. He wants you to cower down. He doesn't like seeing Jacob with his chest up and out. You get what I'm saying? And that's why you can see that they have made it a goal and an objective to destroy all the masculinity out of our people. They've made it a goal and an objective to not see men being men no more. Right? That's why they want you, they want to promote rappers or athletes painting their nails. How you doing, family? Or talking about you tender, or talking about, just using all these certain terminology, man. They want you dressing flamboyant, right? And they want the women less feminine. They want the women like men. They want them raising their voice to you outside, loud, dressing promiscuous, raising their voice, raising their hands to men. All of that is out of order. All of that is out of order. We understand that women are supposed to be soft and feminine, and that's actually where the strength lies at. Our women don't even understand that the best way to even get what you want or get what you need in this world, especially dealing with men, is being feminine. But society has geared them. A lot of our women have been grown up to a point of, they moms and they grandmas is telling them, you don't need no man, or find you a man that this, find you a man that, and they're not even telling you to look for quality. quality principles in a man. They telling you look for a man who got money. Look for a man who won't say no. They're not telling you to look for actual guidance and leadership. They're not telling you to look for a man that has Christ as his head. See what I'm saying? They tell you, oh, if he won't do it, another man will, and that's adultery. You got these young girls out here talking about on social media talking about they the ones cracking shit. They cracking this and they cracking that. The whole roles are inverted. This whole society is calling evil good and good evil, man. But to move on, man, right? It says, agree with thine adversary quickly while thou art in the way with him. All right. So anytime you got the powers down your back for anything, you just want to basically try to get them Salakia, out of your face as quick as you can, right? He wants you to cower down. Yeah, yes sir, no sir, get him out your way, man. You owe on a bill, just try to pay it when you can. Render unto Caesar's what is Caesar's. The money ain't even yours. Even though you worked for it, it's not yours. Because if it was yours, how would they be able to take it before it even hits your account? That should show you something right there, right? Like you could buy something and you still making payments on it, man. That it's ridiculous. Okay. Brother said they reject the standards and morals. It's all about going the broad path to fulfill their flesh. Exactly. Exactly. You know? And he said, and even you said something like that a little bit up, I think. He said, we got to let God fight our battles. The weapons of our warfare aren't carnal. Exactly. See what I'm saying? And Most High said that. Not by might, not by power. So it's not guns that's going to get you out of here, right? You got to understand the weaponry, all these things are really, that's what's given to them of the Most High, man. You got to understand right now, bro, you're not going to outgun Esau, man. These people got ICBMs, intercontinental ballistic missiles, bro. These people got laser beams that they can shoot from the top of the firmament. They got satellites and therma, all types of stuff they can see through your walls. The You got to remember, bro, everything that they put in the public eye, everything that they show you, they've already been having it. I always like to say at least 50, 60 years. All right. So if switches was just hitting the streets now and it's in our hands, if a little 17-year-old Israelite is running around with a switch, bro, best believe they've been having switches a long time now. If they got drones that they got now is dropping onto people and blowing them up, best believe they already had that, man. So you're not gonna go to war with them, man. And how are you gonna go to war with them when you're dependent on them for everything? Right? I believe that's Deuteronomy 28 too. You're gonna be in the land of your captivities in want of all things. If you want some shoes, who are you going to? If you want some food, who are you going to? If you want education, who are you going to? You're going to your adversary. You're going to your enemy to supply you with these things. And that's why everything that we truly need, we need to be redirecting our focus and getting it from the Most High. All right? Because a lot of times when we get into this truth, we have to be re-indoctrinated. All right? We were indoctrinated by their school system. They was in school calling us black, calling us African American. Proverbs and bywords, as the scriptures call it. All right? We have to re-indoctrinate ourselves and understand I'm a child of Israel. I'm a child of the Most High. All right, we got to understand the girls. They indoctrinated you. They threw Nicki Minaj and Lil Kim and all them in your face so you could think you was a bad bitch. You a baddie, you a doll, you a Barbie, you a this, you a that. Everything but a daughter of Zion. And it's a problem now when we bring it out that you a daughter of Zion. That you a princess. Right? You even look at what the enemy does with, they mock it and they make jokes when we say we was kings. Now they mock us when we say we was kings. Because guess what? They're in the position to do that. And also understand we ain't gonna always be here, man. The time is soon where we gonna be out of these lands, man. All right. Let me go back to Sirach 23. All right. Boom. So he said, in any affliction, this is Sirach 25 and 14, and give me any affliction, but the affliction of from them that hate me, and any revenge, but the revenge of enemies. There is no head above the head of a serpent, and there is no wrath above the wrath of an enemy. All right. So think about what type of wrath is it to feed children to alligators? That's the wrath of an enemy. That's the wrath of who hates you. All right. And we're not here to talk about them all day. It's about us and how we maneuver. We got to maneuver in wisdom. If you getting pulled over and you start cursing at this guy and you start making sudden movements and you know that he's waiting on a technicality, now he is legally able to shoot you down in the street because you wasn't moving in wisdom. You see what I'm saying? You getting rowdy or you trying to avoid certain payments or this and that, they throw you in jail. You trying to scam, you trying to finesse this, finesse that, trying to finagle the system, right? And then they throw you in jail, right? Remember, the top of your head and the bottom of your feet is gonna be iron. Jail, that's a curse. Why so many of our men are in another form? That's another form of slavery, man. Look into the 13th Amendment, man, and seeing how they said when they lock you up, you can legally be a slave again. And that's why you in there making Jordans and Victoria's Secret panties for 17 cents an hour. And then they can come out and sell the pair of J's for $400, $500 and go sell it to your nephew. And man, listen, let's move on. This is not your rest. Let's go to this is not your rest. Yeah, we'll go to let's go to Micah. Let's go to Micah 2. Right. Con. All right, con. All right. And I'll start from the top. I'm really came for verse 10, but we gonna start from the top. So this is Micah 2 and 1. It says, woe to them that devise iniquity and work evil upon their beds. When the morning is light, they practice it because it is in the power of their hand. So as to who is that, bro? Like at one point it was us, and it's still us, but it also applies to the adversary too. Right? They devise evil and work evil upon their beds. They can pull strings, right? You look at these elite families, they can pull strings that dictate the whole world. They can up the taxes on you. They can keep the wages where it's at. They can keep life hard from you from their bed, man. Work evil from their bed. They can declare martial law from their beds, man. Just because it's in their power to do it. They can pass a new law. I just heard something where they said they making it illegal, sleeping in your car or being outside being homeless basically. But I want to verify it first because it was a social media post. right? But basically saying, and we already know that they were pushing plenty of anti-homelessness laws, right? Putting spikes and all that under the bridges, the little pegs and spikes and stuff on the benches outside, park benches, so that people can't sleep overnight. Wickedness, bro. Wickedness. Evil. And you think they're not gonna catch judgment for that. But what the Most High said, he said, vengeance is mine. It's not for you to get inspired or get in your anger and become a damn Black Panther, bro. That's not what this was to push you to. This was to make you humble. Not for you to lift up the head, but to bow down the head. See what I'm saying? But I'm gonna go down. All right, Con. This is verse 10, Micah 2 and 10. It says, arise ye and depart, for this is not your rest, because it is polluted, it shall destroy you, even with a sword destruction. So we gotta understand, bro, this is not our rest, man. All right, Babylon is not a place for us to be comfortable. Babylon is not a place for us to be talking about we try and get rich and we trying to, get settled here and get settled there. Nah, bro. Even look at Yahushua, how he said that, the foxes have holes, right? Ants got a nest, but the son of man don't got nowhere to rest. He didn't have a home, bro. That's the mentality we gotta be in. We not complacent in here. We got a job to do so that we can get out of here. You see what I'm saying? That's the whole point. We want to be as humble as we can and just deal with him so we can get him out of the way. And that even reminds me that I did not finish that that verse, saying to agree quickly with your enemy. All right. All right. So Yahushua says, agree with thine adversary quickly while thou art in the way with him, lest at any time the adversary does what? Deliver thee to the judge, and the judge deliver thee to the officer, and thou be cast into prison. So who's in the prisons the most, man? Yahushua already knew the predicaments that we was going to be in. He also said our adversary is what? Be sober and vigilant for what? Our adversary, the devil, is as a roaring lion, seeking who he may devour. So Esau always looking for a reason to lock you up and rough you up while he doing it. Slam you on the back of the car, damn near break your arm and your wrist while he putting your hands behind your back. Got your head banging all on the top of the cop car. Strip you naked when you get into prison. They want to throw you in jail. They love seeing you in that position. So don't open up the gate for them to do that. It ain't for you to be getting rowdy and buck with no cop, man. We got to know where we at. And it says, and even 26, it says, verily I say unto thee, thou shalt by no means come out thence till thou hast paid the uttermost farthing. All right, so you, you're not even going to leave. Look at this. They lock you up and you got to pay bail, man. And the case still going on. That's just for you to be out in the moment. You get what I'm saying? So you going to pay the top dollar. Regardless, you're going to be paying something. All right. And that's why Baruch said, behold, we are still in our captivity, subject to payments. These payments, this money, this monetary system is not your freedom. It's what's keeping you in slavery. You got to understand that the currency, the note, the federal notes are an example of debt, bro. It's all fiat currency, man. There's nothing even back in the money. So I'm saying, now, even let's go to that real quickly. Matthew 17. All right. 26. All right. So this is Matthew 17 and 24, and it says, and when they were come to Capernaum, they that received tribute money, what? Tribute money came to Peter and said, does not your master pay tribute? So it's speaking about Yahushua or Jesus, right? Asking, does he pay taxes? Does he pay tribute? And it says, he saith yes. And when he was come into the house, Yahushua prevented him, saying, what thinkest thou, Simon? Of whom do the kings of the earth take custom or tribute? Of their own children or of strangers? Peter saith unto him, of strangers. Okay? So even that right there, who do the kings of the earth take tribute from? Of their own children or of strangers, foreigners, who they consider Gentiles or Goyim? It's obviously of strangers. That's why we paying the taxes. That's why we are subject to these payments. Once again, for you to understand where you at and why you here. Because the book of Baruch also says that you will wake up in the land of your captivity. So what you waking up and having the eyes to see, and now the Most High can give you certain gifts and powers to where you can maneuver properly through these societies where you at, bro. And it's not just America. All right, you gotta understand that Israel spread to all four corners of the earth. Some version of the same thing is going on in all these different lands of our captivities, whether it's Jamaica, Haiti, Brazil, Nigeria, anywhere you want to consider. We all going through the same thing. We all subject to these payments. We all paying the kings of the earth, man. It may look a little different here, look a little different there, but our people are going through the same plight. All right. But he says, all right, so he said, of whom do the kings of the earth take custom or tribute? Of their own children or of strangers? Peter saith unto him, of strangers. Yahushua said unto him, then are the children free. So that's for you to understand, bro. As an Israelite, you're not free. You're not free yet. All right. You could be free up here, but hey, physically, bro, you still here. But you gotta understand that when Yahushua said the truth shall set you free, he meant that on both levels. He meant that on a mental and spiritual level, you being broken free from the bonds of the indoctrination, the matrix, some people call it, right? The system, whatever you want to call it, breaking free of that is what the Holy Spirit does. It allows you to think different. It allows you to get on God timing and not demon time. Because the whole world moving on demon time. And they not moving on Yahweh timing or Yahweh Shah timing. That's what the Spirit does. It breaks you free of that cycle. Look at how common it is to be evil and down this joint, man. Look how easy it is to roll off the tongue for somebody to say they on demon time. It don't even matter what context. A nigga could be hooping good. They talking about he on demon time. Sexual matters, they talk, oh, she on demon time. Everything is demonic about this society, and that's what the Spirit frees you from, to where you look at it different. Where it's not so easy. You looking at it somebody a little weird when they talking about they on demon time. That's not normal, right? But let's move on. So he said, then are the children free. 27 says, notwithstanding, lest we should offend them, lest we should what? Lest we should offend them. So Yahushua was still in the spirit of not looking for trouble. You see what I'm saying? Because we got a job to do. Just go ahead and get them out my face. He already understood that it was the Most High who even put Caesar in position in the first place. You get what I'm saying? They not here of their own power. Remember, it said that the Most High built up Pharaoh in Egypt to show how strong he was. Egypt, that first world superpower, right? Who can war with the beast? Who can go to war with the beast and the dragon that powers it? But the question is answered when you understand. It's the blood of the lamb. The lamb is stronger, bro. Right? So he says, nevertheless, not lest we should offend them, go thou to the sea and cast an hook, and take up the fish that first cometh up, and when thou hast opened his mouth, thou shalt find a piece. Salakia. He said, that take, Salakia, I'm sorry, I lost where I was at. He said, that take and give unto them for me and thee. All right. So Yahushua ended up paying that tax, man. Just to get them out of the way real quick. You mean? We want to make the time easier while we here. All right, and we about to get off in a second. I didn't really plan on it being this long, but let's go to a couple more scriptures. Let's go to Isaiah 10 real quick. Isaiah 10. All right, Khan. All right, look. Isaiah 10 and 12. It says, wherefore it shall come to pass that when the Lord has performed his whole work upon Mount Zion and on Jerusalem, I will punish the fruit of the stout heart or the proud heart of the king of Assyria and the glory of his high looks. So what's the work that the Most High that the Most High is doing, right, on Jerusalem or Mount Zion? His elect. He's perfecting us. He's sealing us through his power, through his spirit. He's sealing us. And what did it say was going to happen? The winds are being held back. The destruction is being held back in this society solely because the elect aren't sealed yet. And when that happens, that's when it will be the punishment on the Assyrian or the Egyptian or the American. That's when it's going to happen. Why? For he saith, by the strength of my hand I have done it, and by my wisdom, for I am prudent. And I have removed the bounds of the people and have robbed their treasures and have put down the inhabitants like a valiant man. All right. So you got to understand, man, Esau, he thinks that by his power, he got to this position, right? He thinks by his power, he was able to grab the most mighty nation or race and throw them in ships by his power. That's why he has the proud and haughty look. You get what I'm saying? But it was really the Most High that weakened our might and allowed it to happen. That was his work in the spirit. Because remember, everything that's physical already has to take place in the spiritual realm first. So if we was made weak, or if we are being blessed, right? If we are being blessed, when our people are truly blessed on a physical level and we have the world, man, that means the Most High Spirit is permeating through us. You see what I'm saying? So after the Most High finishes work on us, he's going to punish the fruit of the stout heart of the king of Assyria. He's going to punish this land. He's going to punish these leaders, these world leaders, after he finishes his work on us, after we come to him in fear and trembling, in the total number that it's supposed to be. All right. I'm going to go to 14. It says, and my hand has found as a nest the riches of the people, and as one gathereth eggs that are left, have I gathered all the earth, and there was none that moved the wing or opened the mouth or peeped. And 15 says, shall the axe boast itself against him that heweth therewith, or shall the saw magnify itself against him that shaketh it? as if the rod should shake itself against them that lift it up, or as if the staff would lift up itself as if it were no wood. Therefore shall the Lord Yahweh of hosts, shall send among his fat ones leanness, and under his glory shall kindle a burning like the burning of fire. And the light of Israel shall be for a fire, and his Holy One for a flame, and it shall burn and devour his thorns and his briars in one day. And that's the day of judgment, man. All right. When his work is done and perfected in Israel, all right, that's the sifting of the 2/3. That's the perfecting of the elect. Then it's over with for this kingdom, man. It's over with for this place and the ones that run it. And whether you like it or not, they going into captivity. But the point being is that their proud heart is just the axe boasting itself against the wielder. The axe that's chopping down Israel and punishing Israel. But they in their mind like, yeah, I'm doing it. I'm able to lock y'all up every day. I'm able to shoot y'all down in the streets and get off with a not guilty verdict. They think it's their power. But that's the power that was allotted to them by the Most High. All right. And let's and really it's the Most High using they inner hatred for Jacob. That's why it's the worst thing. That's why I said, give me any wrath but the wrath of an enemy. Give me any affliction but the affliction of an enemy. See? Let me get to that real quick. Cause it's really they inner hatred, man. That they were able to be the perfect vessels to be used against us. Okay. All right, Khan. This says I'll start. This is Sirach 13 and 16. I'll start 15. Salaki. Every beast loveth his like, and every man loveth his neighbor. Who is your neighbor? That's your brother. That's your kinsman. All right. All flesh consorteth according to kind, and a man will cleave to his like. What fellowship has the wolf with the lamb? So the sinner with the godly. What agreement is there between the hyena and the dog? And what peace between the rich and the poor? All right. So in this context, in this world, who is the rich and the poor? Who's the head and the tail? It's Esau and Jacob. And so it says, as the wild ass is what? The lion's prey. It says your adversary, the devil, is what? A roaring lion, right? Lions prey in the wilderness, so the rich eat up the poor. As the proud hate humility. As the proud hate humility. What did it just say? He was going to punish the proud heart of the king of Assyria, the king of Babylon. All right. As the proud hate humility, so does the rich abhor the poor. All right. So you got to understand it's a hatred. All right. It's through their hatred that the Most High is able to have them continue to oppress and destroy the people. And it's important for us to understand that it's not for long, man. It's not for long, man. We almost out of here. We almost out of here, man. Serpents. All right. I think we might have one more. Okay, yeah. I'll just finish with that. Finish off with that. This is Matthew 10 and 16. Yeah. Matthew 10 and 16. It says, behold, I send you forth as sheep in the midst of wolves. Be ye therefore wise as serpents and harmless as doves. Whew. It says, I send you forth as sheep in the midst of wolves, man. But be you wise as serpents, but harmless as doves. So no, we ain't trying to go about things with violence or harsh words or anything like that. We simply want to go about it in the way that the Most High instructs us. There is a time for everything under the sun. All right. But Yahweh says, vengeance is mine, and he will repay iniquity. All right. You gotta understand that at one point in time, the Most High said that he's gonna use us as the battle axe. You get what I'm saying? So just keep that in mind. He gonna use us as the axe. All right. And even just being wise as doves, you know, let's just end it off with this and we'll get off. All right, Khan. So Isaiah 33 and 6. And it says, oh, I'll start 5. Because remember, it said he was going to finish his work on Zion and Jerusalem, right? It says, the Lord is exalted, for he dwelleth on high. He has filled Zion with judgment and righteousness. And wisdom and knowledge shall be the stability of thy times, and strength of salvation. The fear of the Lord is his treasure. Whew, salvation. All these debates about who getting saved and who this and that. So we got to ask ourselves who's getting saved from what? Because some people free and some people is in captivity. So who really needs salvation? But that would be all, man. I want to give all praises to the Most High God, Yahweh, in the name of his son, Yahweh Shai, man. Hopefully y'all stay blessed, staying prayed up. Yah Barak.